Hello, and thank you for viewing this very informing and inspirational video. Please feel free to visit our profile at the end of the video. This is Dr. Anthony Hodge presiding on his views on politics and current events. Dr. Anthony Hodge, what is the lobby? Explain to me about it.
Well, what the lobby is, it's what we do as a business. Earth Temple, we do some environmental stuff, but our lobbying comes through our business, Dr. A.T. Hodge Legal Services, Ltd. And we fund, with 50% of the profit, Earth Temple programs. Earth Temple is an environmental and wildlife organization. The first started by African Native Americans who have been preaching about saving the environment for many years. And we want to get everyone to come around the common goal, which is our most highest doctrine, and that is the saving Mother Earth. And we chose the symbol of the earth on top of the pyramid, symbolizing man's working together to build something like the pyramid to balance Mother Earth, which is on top. There are 4 stars on top of the earth, sitting on top of our pyramid, which represents 4 levels to becoming an Earth Templar. Number 1 is to have a clear body. Number 2 is to have a clear mind. What goes through your heart affects the mind. And we want you to keep your bloodstream clear so you can think clearly. And then living in harmony, a clear lifestyle, no polluting, no throwing bottles out of the windows and that sort of thing. And picking up rubbish whenever you see it. That you have an opportunity to save our planet with every little step you take. Our last step in becoming an Earth Templar, once we have a clear living, is to have a clear aura, a clear spirit about you, so your true reflection can show and people can react and treat you accordingly.
Do you know President Barack Obama?
I've known President Barack Obama since his state senator campaign in Illinois. I've known Barack since 1997. Him and I met through my cousin, law professor Bruce Jackson at John Marshall Law School. Professor Bruce Jackson represents people such as Robin Roberts, Fox newscaster, Walter Payton, NFL player, retired, and Donna Stone, Clement Stone's daughter, the Billionaires. And he also represents the most famous and honorable Reverend Jeremiah E. Wright. That's how I met Barack Obama.
In your time with Barack Obama, did you ever get the chance to relate to him anything about Earth Temple?
Yes, very much so. This is why we met. We were introduced to each other because of Reverend Jeremiah Wright. He wanted us to do our Earth Temple toy program known as Project Ho Ho Ho. For 20 years we've been doing this. What Project Ho 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 does, it's a simple name we got off of Macaulay Culkin's Toy Story. It was Operation Ho Ho Ho, Duncan's Toy Store. But it was Project Ho Ho, a simple name that Barack Obama, he liked the name. We laughed a little bit, but of the simplicity. Barack Obama was very sincere, as he is now. I met him and got to know him in that 3 hours. That 3 hours of meeting and talking with him one-on-one. It was like a 3-hour tour. We talked about everything. And God let me know that this man was very special. And being a descendant of Sally Hemings and Thomas Jefferson, he read the book, The Story Must Be Told, that I gave him. How do I know he read it? We later had conversations about it. Barack's best friend, Marty Nesbitt, is a cousin of mine. I rented a fish market from his dad once, and he was surprised that, you know, how small the world is, and I knew Marty. And so Barack Obama agreed that we would do our toy program at Reverend Wright's Church in 1997. It was a little great for our budget, so we did a little something there, but the next year we started working in Cleveland a little bit closer. Barack Obama is a wonderful man. I gave him the nickname God Brother and chose godbrother.com as our business website. Barack Obama reminded me of myself. If I had studied harder in law school, had I had more Bill Clinton and less George Clinton, more King James and less Rick James, that this man will always inspire me, and as I told him, I would always live vicariously through him.
In relation to current events, explain your views on violence and possible solutions.
Well, violence is an energy that in some cases it's illegal. And so with violence in America today, we have people that do not know how to exercise this energy. Let me back up. Before going through seminary school, becoming an evangelist, I've been a criminologist. I'm America's first African American or Native American private detective to advertise nationally in all the major city yellow pages in 1981, 82 through 84, Miami, New York. And coming from Miami, Florida, I worked with some of the best and some of the big boys, former federal agents, people who had experience. When I was in law school in LA before going to Miami, I got into private investigation full time. As I got to Miami, I found myself working with very smart, powerful people that trained me. What my first cousin, Philip Michael Thomas, my Uncle Lewis Diggs' biological son, did in real life as Tubbs with John Johnson. What he did in front of a camera, I did in real life. Back here in Ohio to start the Earth Temple and get folks to knowing why we should save our Mother Earth.
What about drugs? Any solutions?
Drugs? Yeah. You see, I wrote a book on narcotics called Lima to Lima about the demand coming to America, or the demand coming from America to spark and stimulate the supply of drugs coming into America. And what we have to do, this is something I shared with the man that's now President of the United States, what we have to do is educate folks about drugs. But more so than the education of drugs, we've got to make it easier for law enforcement. And in order to do that, I use an example with not only Barack but other men of leadership as well, that if we could imagine a firefighter pulling up to a burning building, pushing a button, eliminating all the smoke out of that burning building, how much easier and efficient will it be to put the fire out once you've eliminated the smoke from the way of you going to put this fire out? This is the same thing with the legalization, not of all drugs. Heroin, cocaine have no place in our society outside of a hospital or operating room. The marijuana, once it's eliminated, law enforcement officers and even people within the church who have enforcement of other kinds, but we get the job done. When you legalize marijuana, you put it in the liquor store or take Jack Daniels out if you can't put Mary Jane in the liquor store. What happens is more people won't start using drugs. I don't believe that. What will happen is you can eradicate the heroin suppliers coming from other countries, which is a threat to national security. Don't take a Mexican vacation. We need to legalize marijuana and keep the people out of prison from smoking a joint of pot. You give his jail cell to the pedophile. Okay, give his jail cell to those that refuse to stop dealing narcotics near schools. That's what we need to stop. So let's clear the air and save our youth.
And lastly, sex and the society.
Well, as is drugs, sex is not the clinical crisis or the demon here. Okay, it is the addiction and the perversion. People want to have sex with farm animals and all kind of stuff. You know, and the farm animal can even be of the same sex. Not that's any worse, but this is what people are doing. We remember Deep Throat, those of us my age. But now we got films coming out, Deep Goat. Morality, we can't legislate, but morality, we can expedite those who disrespect the morality of our society, but not from petty crimes. Lowercase g's don't need to be locked up. They need to be educated. Your capital G's and uppercase G's must be stopped.